Why are there so many songs about sweethearts? Hi, my friends. Now, I told you this would be week 2 of the Regal Beagle, man. But yet before me, I just have my regular instruments. I have no Regal behind me. Because there's a very strange backstory to this. I don't actually have the instrument yet. So let me tell you what's happening, man. I gotta tell you exactly what's going on, man. I gotta tell you what's happening, man. I gotta tell you what's going on, man. I tell you what's happening. I tell you what's going on. So one day I was just looking for an instrument that I had. I was looking for the make of it. I knew it was a certain type of instrument. I didn't know exactly what instrument it was. So I took a photograph of it and I was like Google photograph search. You know what I mean? I came up with this result. It didn't really look like it, but it looked interesting to me. Oh, that was really interesting, man. That's like it looked like a Regal green label, like a very good condition one, and the back was off of it. Yeah. So I clicked on it, and it brought me to Mercari. Now, Mercari, I've bought some things off of Mercari before, and nothing has been Mercarious yet. Everything's been pretty cool. In fact, this whole guy over here, the Jackson that I did, one of my favorite instruments, I got a set of Jackson pickups off of Mercari, very cheap. I think $19, something like that. During the pandemic back then, the old dimes, woo boy. And they came rather quickly to the U.S. mail, through the postal service, right? I was a very happy man. And Mercari sort of like, I have an account with Mercari. I bought things off there. All right, let's take a look at this. I looked at it and the price was like $60 or something like that. 1940s Regal, beautiful Parlor size guitar, man. You know, this is rough post-war. I think it might even be late 30s, man. I don't know the exact timeline when they started using that like aqua, green kind of blue turquoise like logo on it. I think some instruments got it in the 30s, some got it right after the war. I'm not too sure. So to be on the safe side, I'm gonna say around 1945, 46. This is an early Regal Beagle that we got, we're talking about right now. Post-war, one of the last truly, truly great Regal instruments in great condition too. So I saw it. It was in all kinds of pieces, man. You know what I mean? It had been taken apart. Obviously, someone was trying to restore it. Didn't want to restore it any further. Well, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I had some kind of Mercari coupon or something like that. It was going to cost me like $70 to get this instrument. I was like, offer. You know what I'm saying? Offer. I know, like, Mercari usually, whatever offer you send, they'll, like, honor that offer. So I didn't get nothing. No response, man. I felt rejected. I felt dejected, too, man. I was like, So a couple, hours went by. My day dejection from Mercari. I was thinking about that Regal, man. I was like, man, I got that early Regal. I could do a 2-part thing, man. Early and late. Get that. It's a beautiful Regal. I could present it to the people and they would like it. It'd be good. I can't believe it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I can offer them something else, man. Maybe I can do like, call them up, man, find out another man. Maybe and then all of a sudden, I get a message from Mercari. Mercari seller wants to talk to you. Let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it, buddy. And I get the response from Mercari seller saying, "Oh, buddy, I forgot about that thing. Really, Mercari, a long time ago, blah, blah, blah. I'll accept your offer." And I was like, oh, transaction done, man. Oh, I was excited, man. I was really excited. I was like, yes. You know what I mean? So everything, I got paid them, you know what I mean? So days went by, weeks went by, almost a month went by. The item has not shipped. And Mercari started sending me messages saying, "Hey, you should cancel this, bro. Maybe you should think about canceling this thing. We sent the seller many messages. It's time to cancel it." You know what I mean? It's like, okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to cancel this shit. You know what I mean? And the dude, like, was sending me, like, messages and, like, you know what I mean? Here and there. First he said, "Oh, man, I got a serious, like infection, viral infection." You know what I mean? They cut my leg off. And this is like maybe like 3.5 weeks after I bought it. After not hearing from the guy, you know what I mean? And I was like, okay. And then he sent me like 4 or 5 very long messages about how his leg was being removed. had some kind of weird like infection. I was like, I don't know if I want this guitar now. Talking about some weird infection, you know. It's like, cut your leg off, man. Fuck the 2-part shit. Nothing would be that good. You know what I mean? To have my leg cut off for a guitar, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it's good that I can cancel this shit. You know what I mean? And he sent me like some messages right after I canceled. I'm sorry, bro. Sorry, bro, about that shit, you know what I mean? I was on outpatient, you know what I mean? My leg's been reattached, you know, completely, you know, 3 bone ostomies. I'm right. You know what I mean? I think I'll be able to recover by next week and I can send you that guitar. I'll get back in touch with you soon. I just cancel this shit on this guy. It's like, is he a scammer? Thinking I'm like, you know, I was like, well, maybe he's legitimate, you know? I really want this instrument. I was just, you know what I mean, the biggest mark of all time. Maybe he's an honest person. He's serious about this transaction, and he really had his leg was about to fucking fall off, and he had an infection. And you know what I'm saying? He was cool people, man. Whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? The world needs now love, sweet love. It's the only thing that truly love. So, you know what I mean? I was like thinking of the rights of man, the harmony of the soul, man. And so, you know, he sends me some kind of cryptic email saying the time is almost near. The time is almost near, man. He sent me another like, little message saying it's going to be listed soon. I was like, all right, I'm ready when you are, man. I'm going to pay for this. He's getting me all riled up. And I was thinking, he's scamming you again, man. And went on for a little while. You know what I mean? Next week, Tuesday at 10:15 in the morning. Yeah. Man, oh, man, I want to sell to somebody else. You know what I mean? He playing me, man. Because I've been played before, man. That's how I was getting all crazy about it. You know what I'm saying? So what happened was, days went by, and I looked at the dude's name. His name seems familiar to me in like a strange, weird way. And I did a Google search, and right around, I was like, that's who it is. But oh, wow, that's who it is? At the same time. And I'm going to give you the backstory right now about that, because you're probably confused. Because, you know, Bobby G, I don't want to even hear this. I want you to go, but this is interesting, so you might want to listen. So back in 1993, 1994, me and my boy Theory, we used to hang out with our friend Alan. Alan played drums in a bunch of metal bands and stuff. We used to jam out too on the side. But my man Theory wasn't really that good at the time. And every time Alan set up his kit, you know what I mean? And then Theory started playing the bass. He said, oh, you know, I gotta go. You know what I mean? And then he left, and like, you know what I mean? It was just me and Alan. And Alan started going too. So we never really got to jam properly when we were younger, except for a couple times when we went to a place called the Hot Dog House in Asbury Park. And the Hot Dog House in Asbury Park, my man Alan had like 2 or 3 bands that he was involved in. He knew we used to go there, he'd bring some beers. And back when it was, you know, not really too copacetic to be drinking beer at my age, you know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say, man. I mean, you can have a good time, hang out, listen to all kinds of cool bands. I used to work at a supermarket, and all the cool kids that worked at the supermarket, they had like a band at the Hot Dog House too at the time. And you know what I'm saying? They're friends of mine too. So, I mean, I had a good time. I got to, you know what I mean, really, you know what I'm saying, experience how all the musicians in the area like hung out and stuff. Always jam out there, always hang out. Always have a good time. Always like stumbling back home. You know, I was just staying at my friend's house. Yeah. It was a good time. It's a Hot Dog House at Asbury Park in like the mid 90s, man. Great things. But there was this kid. Now Alan was into metal, like heavy metal, like sludge, like metal kind of. It was like, you know what I mean, like kind of like Dio kind of vocals, kind of weird, you know. And there were like, you know what I mean, all kinds of different bands at the time that were real popular. And there's one band he used to listen to, and I believe the guy's dead now. That was the drummer, not the drummer. He was the bass player in this band. Alan, because Alan played the drums. Was in. He used to listen to this band. Now, he told me the name of the band was Buzz Often. And I was like, Buzz Often is what he told me. He's a Russian band or something like that. They're awesome. He played these albums, you know what I mean, in the room there. And I'm like, it's a really good sound system. And I remember like listening to it, and it sounded like, you know what I mean, It's like, you know, metal, but he had like all kinds of samples in there and stuff. And it was cool, man. I liked it, and I heard a lot of it because this kid was real into it. So you hear, man, Buzz Austin is the best. You know what I mean? Back when there was no internet, we couldn't really figure out who went with what. You know, I don't know how he got these CDs, but he loved Buzz Austin, man. We listened to it a lot, and it's a cool thing, man. And I remember years later, I was like, I was wondering what happened to my man Buzz Austin. You know what I mean? Yeah, because I heard that this kid had died. It was that introduced us to this band in the early 90s, you know what I mean? And I read about it, found out that it was actually called BuzzOv. And there's this band from North Carolina that was one of the, had like, they were the pioneers of sludge metal. And they had some of the most violent live acts of all time. People getting hit in the head with bottles. And this dude who was the lead singer, this guy Kurt Fisher, he played a Les Paul that was like caked in like his and other people's blood. And I read his interview with him like many years after the fact, like maybe 6 or 7 years ago right now, you know what I'm saying? I was like, when my friend passed, and I found out that he passed actually, you know, I was like, what happened to Buzz Austin? You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. It's the timeline, so you know, right? And so I found out this article that, you know, he's talking about how he sold that guitar because he needed to get some cocaine. And he sold to a pawn shop for like $50. It was a Les Paul guitar by a famous like musician. And like the guy couldn't even sell it. And, you know, he gave it back to him, and he was at some other show. He sold it again, like I believe up in Delaware, for an 8-ball cocaine, and he didn't get it back this time. And he doesn't know what happened to it. And I remember it always in my mind. I was like, that's crazy. And then I found out this is the same guy that's selling me this guitar. And I was like, Buzz Austin guy trying to fuck me, man. And I had no ill will against him or his band. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was a fan. I listened to that back in the day. And, you know what I mean? On the grave of my dear friend from the hot dog house in Asbury Park. You know what I mean? These guys are legends. You know what I mean? This dude's a legend. So I would love to have this guy's instrument. You know what I'm saying? So I Googled him again. You know what I mean? At the time, you know what I mean? And I found that same article about him. And I asked him, I was like, hey, man. After one of his strange emails, like, aren't you the guy from Buzz Austin? And you know what I mean? This is, I think, right after I bought the instrument for the second time from him. And he's like, hey, man, you know the real name of my band. Who do you think you are, bro? You know what I mean? I was like, oh. And I was like, this is not going the right way. And I was like, he's like, I understand haters in the world, but yeah, you can still have the guitar, man. Put it in the mail tomorrow. I was, hey, man, I got no ill will against you, man. I was like, Guitkit, man. Trying to right what once went wrong and hoping each guitar is the next guitar is a leap home, man. I'm trying to help people, man. I'm a helper, you know what I'm saying? I love to own an instrument, man. I love that instrument. It's a beautiful instrument. And somewhere along the line, he told me he lost all the braces, the ribs of the guitar. And he said he could send them to me. I think I ordered some more recently. So just to have them on stock, because every now and then you need them, you know what I mean? So when they come, we can use them if I don't get them from my legendary friend. Now, I told him, I said, listen, I was like, if you want, you can film a little part of yourself. And I'll present it to my show, because I think you're a legend, man. And his band is BuzzOv. And then there's a little like asterisk EN, I think it was, or something like that. I believe so, right? I have to double check on that. But I have nothing but love for this man himself. I have nothing but good things to say about him. And he's a legend in his field. Pioneer of sludge metal. I listened to him for many hours down in the hot dog house. My dear beloved friend, man. So I hope he sends me the instrument. Hope he's not mad at me. After I said about the Guitkit thing, he's like, thank you, my brother. You know, something like that. He was real appreciative, you know what I mean? He said, I'll definitely like to be on your show. Usually that never happens, but you know what I'm saying? I've invited a million people on this show, man. Only a few people showed up. So I'm going to flip you around if and when this package comes. Hopefully it will. Otherwise, I just spent almost 15 minutes talking. One, two, three. So here it is, man. It's here. I've ordered a lot of things in my life. especially guitars. A lot of them come UPS. The UPS usually say, it's delivered in 7, 10 days, whatever. And usually it's delivered like on the, 10th hour of like the 8th day. You know what I'm saying? Like right at the last limit of when they can like deliver without like being late. Sometimes it's even late. This time it was supposed to be like, I guess, a week. Something like that. And it showed up like almost a day and a half. You know, crazy. So here it is, man. Let's open it up. Let's pop it open. Let's see what's happening in here, man. There it is. Oh, I see it. Oh, I see it. There it is, man. Look at that. That's my man. Legend. I'm telling you, legend. Look him up, man. Check him out. I'm going to put this over there. From now on, you guys are going to see this every time. That's my man. This guy's a legend, man. BuzzOv, bro. Coming back, man. I can't believe that. What a wild adventure, man. A wild adventure. So here we are, the Regal Beagle. This is the big finale of our Regal month. Look at that. He found the brace. Oh, what a good man. Same man of his word. Back. This thing's in like incredible condition. It's got a loose brace, and it's got like a back that's off, and it needs some components, man. Beautiful. I'm so blessed to have made a friend and to have acquired a gorgeous instrument that we can reassemble together, man. Hey, man. My man, the legend. The legend, man. The legend. One of the most violent bands of like the early 1990s, man. It's on Wikipedia, man. I'm going to clear away this stuff, man. I'll never clear away my man, my new friend, man. My big man, Dr. Fisher, man. So this is pretty much what it boils down to when we take away all the boxes and stuff. You know what I mean? It's great condition. Hardly any scratches. But it's definitely a husk. It's definitely a project. These are painted on, right? So you know, everything is great condition now. It's a gorgeous instrument. We have one piece of ribbing. That's it. We're missing quite a few ribs. We'll either get the originals from our friend, or we'll just replace them. We're in no rush. I'm saying it took us a long time to get this. That's the important part. We're also going to have to replace this with a nice wooden butt plug. Then we're going to get some tuners going. I have an idea to mock up some tuners in an inexpensive yet highly sort of authentic looking way. So let's go into the laboratory. You know what I'm saying? Let's start working on this guy in the proper BuzzOv way, man. Right? I'll see you there, my good Regal friend. Regal Beagle Part 2. Hey, welcome back to the laboratory. Alright? That's all I gotta say. You're in the laboratory, and you're here. And you're back. I said, well. Alright? So, this guitar looks like it's ready to go, man. Put a couple fucking braces in, some peanut butter and gabagool, and we're good, right? Not so fast. So it's been apart for a long time. We know that because this thing sort of like curved up, man. It's curved this way. I think by putting the braces on there, though, we should be able to straighten that out. And we have one brace. And we can tell by this little stain here that it originally went right here. But this is incomplete, this brace. Broken. We kept up communications with our friend For a long time, at first, he was like, oh, I'll be on the Guitkit show, yeah. He's going to film a little insert piece in the beginning, how he got this guitar, him shipping it off to me, and he didn't do it, you know. But he did keep in contact. We made, like, friendship, you know what I mean, real for a little while. You know, I got a little message from him, hey, man, I found all those braces. Like, oh, you good, all right. What's your address again, bro? Send them to you. I sent him the address. 2 months went by, nothing. So I sent him a little, you know, message again. Hey, man, what about the braces? He's like, oh, yeah, man, send me that address again. I'll send them to you. And I did, and 2 months went by. So it was like 6 months, 7 months now. I don't think he's sending the braces. So we're just going to have to move on, right? Now, I bought 2 sets of braces here. But there's something even more pressing than this thing being curved like Fall's Gump spine. This thing is curved too, this way. Oh, no! You can't really see it because of the way, you know what I mean, cameras are on these phones, but there's a big hump existing right in here. It's like a huge bowl. I remember Dr. Patillo years ago telling me, well, what we can do for this is put hot sand, like a heating bag inside of it, you know what I'm saying, like heating element, heating pad, you know what I mean, leave it on there for a long time. Me, I always like to trick out these kind of things with water, hot boiling water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open these 2 sets of braces up. This is a set of braces supposedly for a classical guitar, I guess, you know what I mean, I don't know. This is a set of braces for a dreadnought guitar. So we should be able to find enough braces in this 2 sets. One for here, one for here, one for here, and one for here. And maybe we'll just use this one. Or maybe we'll replace it. You know, we'll be able to extract a couple good braces. But what we want to do first is find a perfect brace for right here. And once we find a perfect brace, let's sand this off. We want to pour some water in there. And clamp this to the end of the countertop for about a week or so. It's totally flat. So we get that big hump out of there. You can't really see the hump, man. But it's real, man. It's scary and it's real. There's not too much of a hump here. There's not much of a hump here because it's got braces. No brace here. So the hump is humped it out, man. It sucks. We're trying to trick it out. So let's open these guys up and try to find a good brace for that. Cut it up, man. And I'm going to sand this down a little bit. And I'll see it that burnt when we're outside. And you know what I mean? We're going to take this up too, man. We're going to take this up so we don't get any boiling water out here to ruin the finish, man. Right? I'll show you what it is. Right? See in a minute. Alright, so we have this piece. See where that little line is, that pencil mark? Cut perfect. You know what I'm saying? And this is totally sanded. We have this with metal tape. We have a little tab here, so we can just pull it off. Right, this is totally smooth. So we're going to take this, we're going to put it aside. We got a whole carafe here with boiling water in it, right? That's boiling water. Hot water, right? We're just going to pour that in here. All wet in here, like a little bathtub. Like a little bathtub. You see where it goes, right? Let's just let that get real wet. Let's just set this in such a way so it's like perfectly distributed right around that area. Well, we'll mess with it till it's perfect. And I'll see you after we set for about 20 minutes. Alright, so it's sort of starting to drain out a little bit. Let's dump the rest of it out and go set it downstairs and start to dry it out a little bit. And we got it downstairs on the countertop with a t-shirt under it. Patted it dry. This other brace came off. This brace I could probably pull off too. It's kind of like really loose over here. We're going to leave it though for now. So we got this off the countertop. So let's put a lot of glue on the back of these braces and just clamp them back and get this guy flat. Now it's like more pliable. Before it's like, but now it's totally pliable. So let's do it while before it so like dries out. We just have it patted dry. You know what I mean? Pat, pat, pat. Right. See, we're all clamped. Piece. And there it is, precariously clamped. We only get this one thing clamped. We got a big heavy clamp on top of this guy, and sitting on top of the drill press just for leverage. Got a flat piece of board and some heavy weights on top of it. Keep it flat here because we couldn't get this guy clamped in. We'll do that next time, but the important thing is this thing's thoroughly clamped. Let it dry out and set for a little while. About a date. Right? And I'll see you then at that point. What? Do it. Alright, so it's almost been exactly 24 hours since we glued it and clamped it. It's a long set time really on that glue because of being wet. Didn't really dry until everything else around it dried. But let's unclamp it and then let's reposition it where it is right now and clamp the other brace. You know what I mean? I have 3 clamps over here. That probably should do the trick. You know what I'm saying? This clamp right here is from like the 50s from America. Right? This clamp right here is from like 1900 from America. This clamp's from like 1980 from Taiwan, man. That's the 3 clamps that we're going to use, man. I'm just a clamp collector, man. Clamp trim. Let's unclamp this, reclamp that. I'll see you there. Right? See that? What a change 24 hours makes. All right. And there we go, man. Each one doing his job. Holding that guy level, flat. The good thing is, this is like flat now. There is no more like sort of ashtray in it anymore. It's great. You know what I'm saying? It's the right way, people. Boiling water. So we're going to let this set a date, right? Just like we did for the other one. In the meantime, let's go take a look at the back guitar. Right? The guitar's back. Try to get him all straightened out. Right, Forrest? Right, Sarge? Alright, so we've found a hard scrabble set of braces that we're going to use. We're actually going to reuse this original brace. These have some nice little rocking chair bottoms to them. So they're going to pull it back together, right? And that's what we really need. So before we do some sanding, you know what I mean, and clean all this glue off right now, look at that. You see the original pencil marks from the Regal. Look at that bullseye, son. Right? Original times back in the old days. So we're going to carefully, you know, center these, and we're going to cut little lines in them. We're going to walk it over here to our friend Mr. Scroll. So hello, my dear friend Scrolly. And we're going to make sure they look nice for the people. And that's the next point we're going to see. This is the original one. He's original, man. He's being recycled, reused, relifted. See, after we curtain this guy up. Hey, man. Talking about Kurt, man. Can I get Kurt that? Alright, so they're all cut down to the correct size. Good enough. You know what I mean? It's a brace right against the guitar. Everything will be cool. And the fucking gang, man. We're in business, man. So I've labeled them right in this corner so I know which order to put them in. And I know exactly, you know, which direction I cut them. Make things real easy for the people. Just gonna collect them in order too. To make it even easier for the people. Right? Put them over here. Now, see this? See this? See this? See these scrapers? We're going to scrape as much as we can off gently. See that mess? Right? Then we're going to sand it. You know what I mean? We have some sanding blocks and stuff. Just make it nice for the people. Get rid of all that shit. And likewise with this one right here, actually. We'll take him out of the pile. Get rid of all that shit. We want to remove that. But don't change the curves. See when that's been accomplished. Right? Very nice. Very smooth. Alright, this is good now. So we got these guys. I got this guy's bottom all cleaned off. We got it down to the bare wood, right? They're all correctly ordered or whatever they will be. We're going to take some glue. And we're going to liberally put it here, 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 and on the bottom of this. You want to do them both, man. You know, all these little clamps over here. See this? Clamp Town races, doo-dah, doo-dah. Clamp Town races in this place. We're going to doo-dah day. Right behind here, we're going to put some masking tape, though. So we don't fuck it up. I'll show you when we're all clamped up. You clamp it. Look at that, man. Not bad. Here where we should be. A little bit messy. Should have, like, maybe wet it down because I saw a little tiny crack running this way, man. It's kind of like, oh, man. I don't know, even if I wet it down, it could have been an even bigger mess, man. I don't know. So let's let this guy set for a couple dates. I don't know, something like that. Not a long part. By the time this guy's ready, body be ready, and we can come together right now over me. But you don't have to wait that long. You know why, William? We can do magic. 1, 2. Alright, so it's been about 25.5 hours. This looks pretty dry. Looks pretty dry there, son. Let's go check on the top. Yeah, now that's been about 36 hours. It's been a while. It's been a hurl. So let's unclamp everything here and see if we can just sort of put them back together. Humpty Dumpty. And there you go, man. They fit together like a glove, man. Like a jigsaw, man. Let's work with this lady, man. She's always talking about, we could do a jigsaw, man. I don't do no jigsaw, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, before we start gluing this together, man, these are the cracks I was telling you about. Look at that one. This one's the worst over here. I should have wet down the wood from the back, but I mean, this is cracked from the front. Because it's going, you know what I mean, many years. Mr. Fisher probably got this thing and it was already disassembled. No, disassembled, right? So let's put this, you know what I mean, aside for just a second, because we still have a couple of structural things to do. This right here, right? It's got to be clamped. You know what I'm saying? I think there was another piece that was a little loose. And that was it, man. Take a good look around, and then I'll sand it down, and then we'll be all right, man. Okay? So I'll see you after we've got this guy all clamped down. This is the other one over here. See it? I knew there was another one. Can't pull the wool over Bobby G's eyes, man. So I'll see you when we're all clamped up. And then we'll unclamp it, and like I said, we'll sand it. But I'm getting ahead of myself. 1, 2. There's a laid glue on top of it. Took the suction cup after it sat for a little while. Got it down in there. Then pressed it together with these little mini tarp clamps I got at the Dollar Tree a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? The metal ones are the best. I only find 5 of them. I know I had like 10, but who knows what happened to them all, man. Make sure this kind of thing is level. If you ever get a situation like this, you go up, go down, especially if it's on one of the ends. You want to keep it totally level. Found another little pocket right here that needed some clamping too, man. So let's let it set till tomorrow. And then we're going to join you back together. You're going to become a real guitar sooner than later. All right, boy? See you then. Okay. See, I didn't say all right. I said okay. Sometimes I say all right. I was saying okay. It's the next day. Let's move these clamps away. I got this is like a nice rough grit sanding block I got down at swap meet about a year ago. And I had it on my shelf in like a little bag. I forgot about it. You know what I mean? It just came to light recently. I was like, oh, I remember this thing. So now we're going to have an opportunity to really use it after we're done removing these carefully. We're just going to sand off this whole top. We'll be real careful right here because see how there's a little piece of wood that got stuck off the top. And that we want to glue that back perfectly. So we're not going to touch that area. But all this old glue, we're just sort of going to, you know what I mean, wipe away all the memories. Wipe away the bitter memories of our old hide glue. Bring on the new glue, right? 1, 2, 3. All right, so everything lines up beautifully. You see this crack right here where it comes up. We didn't mess it up all. You know what I mean? It's going to come together quite well. We're going to need to run 2 pipe clamps going this way, and a wide clamp at the waist, and a bunch of clamps like up and down the side. We have to glue both sides very carefully. Clean it up really carefully. Get the spillage. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of stuff involved with this type of operation, right? Make sure we got all the clamps taped up properly so they don't damage the instrument in any way, shape, or form. We got to be real careful of these cracks so we don't enlarge them. Just got to do the right thing, man. So I'll see you when we're all clamped up, man. We're going to use regular old wood glue, man. We're not going to use any kind of hide glue. Just going to use this guy, man. I'm not going to show you the thing, man. I'm not showing you the thing. I want some sponsorship, man. So let's clamp it up. Let's glue it up. Let's try our best to keep it real, man. Really real, man. Really real. And there's a little section over here where this has to be sort of clamped together too, where it's kind of come loose, man. But it looks like it'll line up again. Got a lot of work in store for us. I'll see you once 1, 2, clamp. And there it is, all hands on deck. I think I might have heard something crack or crunch on the other side, man. I was like, oh, right? I don't know. We're going to have to do a lot of, like, you know what I mean, touch-up work. But for the most part, I think it's down, and it's down correctly. Right, so let's let this set, 12 hours, so. And then take it apart and, like, see what cracked or crunched. And then cry about that. If it has to be cried about. Right? All right, so much. All right. So it's been about 26, 27 hours. Look at all these clamps, man. Look at that weird clamp right there. Clamps throughout time. You know what I'm saying? Clamps from over the centuries. So, let's carefully unclamp this fucking thing. Hope it didn't break. I heard it crack like, I don't know what that was. Might not have been anything. You know, it might have just been one of these clamps slipping. I don't know. I'll see it after we're unclamped, and I'll tell you what happened. We're going to have little problems. You know, like things over here. Stick it over. I'll tell you what we're going to do about it. All right? Give me 1 minute. Alright, so we're unclamped. The instrument is definitely a solid instrument now. You know what I mean? I don't feel any... There's no hump here, you know what I mean, going in straight. The only problem is some of these are not lining up very well. Like here, you see that? I don't like that, man. The longer a guitar sits, you know what I mean, it becomes misshapen, especially if it is not connected to its, you know what I mean, parts. So it's harder to put it back together. So what we're going to do is we're just going to shave that off, man. We're going to get rid of it carefully, you know what I mean, with the sanding block. And we're going to just touch up the white walls, man. Touch up the white walls. It's kind of a pain in the ass. But, I mean, it yields the best looking instrument. We might even have to fill that in a little bit. It has a little bit warped there, just from bending it back. When you bend the wood back, it's like, oh, where do I go? Because it was like, you know what I'm saying? It was like shaped the other way. It was shaped like this. And now it's like shaped back like this. So the wood's become stretched a little bit. So we'll have to fill that in with Bondo. But let's shave it off first. And then we'll fill it in. We'll do all kinds of little tricks. Right? Alright, so that's a lot of hard work and toiling. A lot of sweating. All done by hand. You don't want to use any machines on this because one little slip, you'll fuck up the whole guitar. But we got it all even. There are a couple little spots here on the front too that we had to get. And this one back here. You know what I'm saying? Just little lips that came up, man. You know what I mean? Nothing big, but I mean, it still wasn't like perfectly sort of. This is usually done before the guitar's painted. You know what I'm saying? This happens with every time you build a guitar. You know what I mean? Nothing lines up 1,000% unless you're like, you know what I'm saying, Stradivarius. So you always have to do a little bit of trimming before painting, but after painting, so we're sort of half-assing this one without having to refinish it. But as a structurally, it's a good guitar now. So, like I said before, there are a couple places we got to fill in little cracks. So let's see, that's a little bit fill-inable. So we're going to go outside real quick and just quick Bondo. Here too, I mean, there's a little bit of unevenness that, you know what I mean, went the other way. And that's the worst way. So we're just going to fill those little spaces in. I'll see you outside after that's been burned out. Alright, so there it is, man. We did a good job. Got it all done over here, too. Big mess. Let's clean it up. Oh, bird shitting all over the place now. Just let it dry out here for a little while. Alright, so it's set down here in the laboratory for a good, like, 6-7 hours. It was outside for a good 4 or 5 hours. Nice and hard. It's cured. And I like to see this line here to show us right where what's good. You know what I'm saying? So we got everything where it should be. Let's sand it off again. And let's sand it off again. And then we'll talk about what we're going to do after that. Yes, smooth as it should be. Looks good. Feels good. We went ahead and took some rubbing alcohol and we cleaned up all the glue, especially around the edges. Right, because we're just going to start treating it now. See this? See this? See this? It's furniture marker. Let's just color this in here because we're going to try to restore this whole little area right here. You know what I mean? We're not going to go ahead and go crazy and go restoring everything. Might as well just do this one too while we're here. You know what I'm saying? I don't see anything else that's pressing. Well, let's do those three, and I'll come right back at you. You see that? You see that? Quick fixes, you know what I'm saying? It looks good. So now what we want to do is restore the shore. See how the shoreline here for this little white border has been sort of washed away in certain places, you know what I mean, where we did that sanding. Anyway, it has been washed away in certain places in the back. On the front, we have these paint markers. One of them I got 2 or 3 years ago. One of them is brand new, unopened. Now, if you store them like this, they'll last for a couple of years as long as you don't use them up. You know what I'm saying? So I actually opened up the one, you know, because I had them stored like this the whole time because I was old, and it still looks like it's viable. So we're gonna go ahead and try to put that little edging, just the edging. We're not gonna do the whole deal with them, just the edging on this. Fix up the edging, and I'll be right back at you. Look how it's all shady over here. Definitely shady up here. It's like gone. You know what I'm saying? At the flash, I turn the flash off. You can see, man. Raw to the bone, man. Raw to the bone. So I'll see you once we've been restored, man. Right, front and back. All right. So we're all re-edged in white. A letter edged in white. It's good news every night. Right. That's made that shit up, man. It's all like re-edged. Re-edged. Now get away from the ledge. But still, we got some ugly stuff going on, man. We got some ugly moments that we must forget about beyond the edge, right? On the back, it's like fucking Free William. Oddly, the old paint stick was better than the new one that we just opened, brand new. The viscosity of the paint was too thin, but the viscosity was very thick on the older one because it sort of dried a little tiny bit, man. So I got an extra fine brush. It's not coarse. The bristles are very thin, fine. I got a brand new, also new old stock, white. This is like, see that? 2018. This is pre-pandemic, man. This is the good stuff, man. Back before, you know what I mean? Fake news erupted, man. I don't know, man. I don't know what to say, man. The world is just going to hell real quickly. But this guitar is not one of that, you know what I mean, contingency. Let's get this guy painted up. What? Acrylic paint? Yes, sir. Let's get the front and the back completely fixed. When I say completely fixed, I mean the white stripe around it. I want it to look beautiful and brilliant. See you in 1, 2. So we got it. You know what I mean? Recovered, man. We're in the recovery phase, man. We don't want to relapse. So we're going to put a little bit of Zinsser shellac. We're going to apply it with a foam brush end. Every time I use it, I rip off the hard part. And this is the best part because this is the part that doesn't get all woosy. We're not going to do too many runs. You know, we're just going to do a run starting like right here. You know what I mean? Around. You know what I mean? And I run up. Try not to get on the back, but I mean, it is shellac, so it's not that, you know what I mean, complicated. Ready? This is going to give it that yellow. The yellow is going to re-yellow. See how some of this is like yellow peeking through? Because like the original kind of got yellowed. Now it's time. I'll see you after we've been shellacked. You shellacker. I'll lick shellac. So we got to hang it from a hook so we can do the whole damn thing in one swoop. You know what I'm saying? Hey, well, swoop-a-doo, you know what I mean? Swoop-a-don't, you know what I'm saying? We don't have to do anything else after it dries, right? So let's let it, like, untouched. Just chill, man, you know what I'm saying, man? Enjoy the peacefulness, bro. Oh, I'm just enjoying the peacefulness, right? I'll see you after it's dried. All right, so it's the next day. We're going to dry. Let's go over it with, like, a wet sanding 600 grit. See what it looks like. See if we need to put any more shellac on it. We're okay though. I'll let you see when we're done giving it a wet sand real quick up on the stick. All right, so we sort of knocked off the edge. I took the flash off just to show you. I mean, it looks great. looks like, you know what I'm saying? This is totally rejoined, redone. Looks like 1,000% ancient. The back looks great too. Let's take off this tape, clean up the side. There's a lot of fucking scrub all there. There's all kinds of, ugh. That's where I spilled my milk. You know what I'm saying? Let's get all the spritz off there, man. See, there's some shit on here too. Right? But it's not affecting our beautiful new headliner. Right? Let's clean it up and then maybe go outside and bake it a little bit. Alright, so we got all the tape off. We got all the gook off the sides, man. And I mean, we have a guitar right now in excellent condition. Look, there's no hump in the front, you know what I'm saying? Everything's, this looks, I'm speechless, man. The thing looks great, man. Looks fantastic, looks bold, looks beautiful. I was thinking put it outside, sort of bake it out, because it's like perfect, and it's like yellowed and toned and great. And I was like, let me just put it on the hook for another 12 hours, let it like dry off down in the basement. I'll put the humidifier up a couple notches. Make sure it's real dry down here. It's too hot outside. It's like 100 degrees out here. So I'll see in about, 12 hours, something like that. Or I sometimes say there. Alright, so we spent another 18 hours on the hook, right? It's dry now. You can tell when like shellac is like done. So let's just see it back on the operating table. Alright, so we're almost at the finish line. What's this hole down here, Mama? What does it do? Well, I got 3 butt plugs for you, son. This one is like a Harmony new old stock. One of the first plastic jobbers. You know what I'm saying? It fits right in there, but it's a little loose. Oh no, it's a little loose inside. This is a wooden one. I got this from the guy who, knew a guy who used to mess around with the workshop in Germany. You know what I'm saying? Stradivarius' workshop. You know what I mean? He knew a guy, and he had all kinds of parts connections. Too big, right? But that's like the right idea. It's a wooden one. It should be a wooden one. Wooden one kind of look like this one, right? This I got with a set of like small, and it fits perfectly. It's like you feel the tension as you put it in there. You hear that? That's the right tension. I don't want to mess up the tension in my hole, man. One thing that's wrong with it, it's like got the wrong shape though. Should have like a smooth top. You know what I'm saying? Like these guys. It's got like a little, it looks like, you know what I'm saying? Like an ancient Chinese helmet. Don't talk about my helmet like that. So it should be like a flat top, right? So let's sand him down, right? I'm gonna take away my pencil point, right? Clean him up a little bit, and I'll see you outside. Otherwise, he looks perfect. It's perfect for the era. I'll see you outside, and we're gonna paint him up with his lacquery luster. You lacquerman. See you there. There you got it. Sanded smooth and poked through a box of pastaroni. Got some black lacquer. Shake it up. We're gonna do this trick correctly. See you in a second. Alright, we'll let it dry for a little while, give it another coat, and bring it inside. Alright, so we had it outside a while, we had it down here a while. It's all wild out, man. Looks okay. Let's take a little bit of, wet sanding, and then a little bit of steel wool. Kind of knock off the block, you know what I mean? Knock off that new look. I'll see when we've accomplished that. You see that? Looks all old now. So we'll take this black furniture marker before we do anything else. We're just gonna color around here because it looks like this is a little bit tethered there, a little bit like somebody. I want to pull my butt plug right out. Right. So let's clean up the mess for our next success. All right, that's better. Let's put a little drop of wood glue on this guy's shaft and stick him in the hole, man. Stick your shaft into the hole, right? I'll see you after that because we're almost done. And that's the way it should be, boy. You know what I mean? I don't have anything else to say to that. So, we have a very, very ashy looking fucking bridge. An extremely embarrassingly ashy looking fucking fretboard, man. That's just embarrassing. Now, the neck is straight. Frets are like very, very thin. Perfect condition. There's not too much, you know what I mean? Well, he liked Hank Williams a little bit, but I mean, he just liked to masturbate, really. I mean, after he turned 13, he didn't touch anything. So, I got some Earl, man. Earl Johnson, man. We're going to put him here. We're going to put him here. All here. How are we going to apply it? Well, we're going to take some of this thing called steel wool. I like to call it a lana de acero. Steel William. But I don't understand why they would call it wool, because you don't put it in a coat or a parka. So let's get that all greased up. And I'll see after it's all greased up. I'll tell you what we'll do then. We're all greased up. Horse. I think he's unconscious, but I got him all greased up before he lost it. What do you want me to do with him now? We're just going to let him wait, right? 45 minutes, half hour. You know what I'm saying? You want to grease it up, you know, with the steel wool and the mineral oil until the wood doesn't want any more. Till it's, you know what I mean? Holds like a little bit of grease on the surface, like that. Let's let that set, like I said, half hour, 45 minutes. I'll see it then. Yeah, see, it's all pretty much seeped in, man. Seepers, weepers. So we're going to clean all that schmutz off. There's still some, like, stuff on there, man. And then we're going to take this furniture polish. And I sometimes skip this step, but I always regret it. Just because there's kind of a haze on here. I want to clean off the last remnants of the haze. Stay away from the sides, really. On the front and the back. Maybe a little bit here, too. Let's get it all cleaned up, friend. Let's see when we're done. Oh. You just got to take it to Sheeny Shoney Town, man. Yeah. Something to do with that magical grease that interacts with this, that just puts it at a different level. You know what I'm saying? Like, seals it for a long time to come. I've done this. It's funny because I've done it for so many years. I mean, little parlor guitars like this where, you know, sealed them up again and fixed it up, and it was pretty bad like this. And like years later, I'll play it and it still feels like, you know what I mean, like an original instrument. And it still feels like I just restored it because the wood still feels good. And this is the treatment I've pretty much been using on it. So we're going to put some paste finishing wax. I used to use Butcher's Bowling Alley wax, and I use this stuff. I've become quite accustomed to it. I like it now. Use that on this. I'm going to use it over here as well. Everything else, I'm going to put some of this. This is Mom's Brazilian cleaner wax, man. Carnaval wax, man, from Brazil. Hey, Rio, man. Isn't that down here? And we're just gonna like pop that shine to Shoney in this land. We're almost there, people. In a slow but sure roundabout way. This is a beautiful instrument now. Look at that. Mint condition, straight as an arrow. You know what I mean? There's no weirdness going on. It's looking great, man. Let's see more super pop, man. Look at that shine. Look at that gloss. Look at that mirror image, man. Look at this. Look at that. Oh, I see myself clearly. This is gorgeous. So it's now protected and it looks beautiful and looks great. So now we're starting to get into the functional aisle of things, man. What's the main functional thing left? Well, we have no tuners. Now we could go crazy looking for a set of tuners. You know, and fit these perfectly, you know, from the old days. I got these on AliExpress, set $5. Now we can take a look at these. And we can just line it up, put it in there, and look at that. Even the holes for the screws line up. We don't have to drill any other thing. It's like, wow. So I mean, these don't look that bad. Now suddenly, but these screws in here, which we call Phillips head, we don't like them because we didn't have Phillips head back in the date. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have them back in the date. So we're going to take the screws out the gear and replace with these stainless steel slotties. Hey, you slotty, right? And I'll show you when we've done doing that to try to make it spruced up a little bit. Try to spruce it up a little bit, make it look a little bit more time appropriate. You know what I'm saying? Family film, right? See you in a minute. Sometimes the look does not make the man, right? It's good, yeah, man. So we have them both all screwed up, man. We got a box here slotted, right? That's what we're going to secure it with. We're also on the other side, the flip side of this, we're going to put in some eyelets. Eyelet bushings, just the push-ins. We got a whole bunch of them right here. That's the correct size. And it'll completely complete the look. So we'll screw it in, put the eyelets in. I'll see it then. Doesn't that look dreamy? It's like creamy of the crop, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like I went back in time and put this in like the attic. Just came back for it. You know what I'm saying? I hid it in the rucksack upstairs. You know, leave a little bit of wear here and there. You know what I'm saying? Just to make it genuine. You know what I'm saying? A little couple nicks and knacks, man. Like that patty wax. So we're still missing some component, man. Hey, what's on here, Mike? I got all kinds of holes on it. No bad, am I gonna leak? Well, you're not gonna leak, son. But let's talk about what we have and what we need. Now, I have a whole bag of these, man. A whole doggone bag full of these, right? And they have this white dot on it. Now, the ones that came in these type of Regals had just a black plastic one. Early black plastic one. You know what I'm saying? Celluloid, I think they called it. Celluloid. Right? But they had no dot. No dot, hard to find these days, right? Hard to find. Especially in your cheap market for AliExpress. I was thinking about like wood set. You know what I'm saying? Nobody ever suspect a wood set from being false. And I was like, I'll know it's false. But if I want to know something's false, I want to know it's false, right? I want to just suspect it, right? So I'm going to take a couple of these, pop them through a, you know what I mean, noodle-roni box like I did the other thing, and bring them out in the garden and paint them. And on a beautiful windy day. So I'll see you outside in 1, 2, 3. Alright, so we have the top sanded smooth. Alright, sanded smooth, and we got to poke through a box of Penny Alavaca. This is the good stuff here, man. Not just pastaroni, man. Got my friend again. Let's coat him up. We're just trying to hide that white. You know what I mean? Hopefully, you know what I'm saying? We're not going to really have to handle these that much. See you in a second. Yes, that's correct. Just let it sit out here in the sun. See you soon. So we got them set for, I don't know, dried outside for about an hour. Then we brought them inside, dried for about 10 hours. Right. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take some steel wool and just rough them up a little tiny bit on the tops. Because again, you know what I mean? Again, Noriega, you're doing that with your eye. I don't like that. Freaks me out. Take him away. Don't bring him here when he's having a seizure. Now I got to get dressed again and go play Mr. Secret Service. I'll see when we're all roughed up. Yes, these are perfect now. They look just like, you know what I'm saying? They've been around forever. You know what I'm saying? In the drawer, in the store, on the floor. So I got a set of nice coppers, man. Extra light gauge coppers. Right? Right? Let's strang it up. Oh. 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 What a beauty. I'll see you at the glamour shots for a closer look. We're going to look in you. Closer. 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 There it is. This is a rather fine instrument, I must say. You know what I'm saying? It's rather classy. Quite regal. It's all cleaned up nice for the people. Everything's back where it should be. Looks like a fine example, man. Looks like it's fucking fit for a king, you know what I mean? Or one of his friends. You know what I'm saying? Looks great. This wasn't like one of those 2-day, you know what I mean? I'm going to jiggle some tools around the closet after I get home from work. Listen, this was a long experience, man. A long time in the making, man. I believe 9 months ago I first spotted this instrument. And you know what I'm saying? I was waiting on Fisher. You know what I'm saying? our BuzzOv and friend cough up those original braces. Those weird stories, you know what I'm saying? Strange stuff, man. But I appreciate the instrument. Looks to be a beautiful example of it. You know what I mean? Late 40s Regal. When they start using this? It didn't even be from the 30s, man. 30s, 40s is still a nice example with new tuners. And the good thing about new tuners is they're new. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to worry about breaking them. So let's hear it. And then we can say, hey, is this truly fit for a king? You know what I'm saying? Can I play it? You know what I mean? Let's hear it. I'm a dime piece myself. Mm-hmm. And that's part 2 of the Regal Beagle. Included, man. One of the last great Regal instruments. Last time we met, we did one of the first. That's a nice little guitar. It's not rudimentary at all, it's advanced. Right? So I was telling you about my ordeal with Mr. Kirk Fisher from the great state of North Carolina. And just so happens there's a parallel that my buddy at work, he's also Mr. Fisher. But he's like more roots in South Carolina. His father moved down to South Carolina. He's originally a Jersey boy, but he's like a journeyman at life. You know what I mean? And this guy that I'm friends with, Fisher, he's like worldly. He's been all over the world. He's worked all different kind of jobs, met all kinds of people. You know, he lives like out of a backpack. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't like have too many roots. You know what I mean? All this crazy possessions that I have and all the crazy guitars, this wouldn't be his thing, man. He's good with a couple pair of corduroy pants and, like, you know what I mean, some food for his dog. You know what I'm saying? My man is straight. You know what I mean? Like survivalist. But he makes friends real easily, and he's a great listener, and he's a good person, and he's just like good people, you know. So my boy Fisher moved down to South Carolina, and on the last day I saw him, I went and saw him cleaning out his desk. He's sitting there with some flip flops on, you know, listening to like quiet reggae in his room. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, hey man, I know this song was like Humanity. It was like somebody singing Humanity. Yeah, and I remembered this disc that I got years and years ago, maybe like say between 10 and 15 years ago when my kids were small. My wife and I used to go down and swap meet because the house used to be empty, you know what I mean? And we'd go in there on Sunday after all the vendors had left, and we'd like got like, you know what I mean, lion's share all the stuff that they left, you know what I mean? Ooh, look at that table, ooh, look at that, yeah. You know, I'm not talking about, you know what I mean, guitars and stuff. I'm talking about like, you know, shelves and things like that, books. Lots of people were abandoning the thoughts 10, 15 years ago, and that's why we're where we are. Anyway, I found a whole bunch of CDs on this table, you know, mostly just CD cases, and there was one CD case with a bootleg CD in there, like a reggae CD called Warm and Easy. I was like, Warm and Easy. I thought it might have been like, because it was mismatching the case like a porno or something like that. Like, yeah, Warm and Easy, you know, bring this home with me. I got it home and it was like the coolest reggae mix bootleg thing I ever heard from around 2001. Right before September 11th, before humanity went to shit, man. And I just dug on this disc for months and months. And I worked, because I was already in the reggae at the time, you know, I mean, this kind of like connected me to all the newer like reggae artists and, you know, their artistry, man. And I collected like the original rhythms and stuff, on a disc, and I would listen to that disc for like a year and a half also. All I did, you know what I mean, was listen to these 2 discs. You know what I mean? And it was cool, like musical surprise, man. You know? But I heard that Humanity rhythm in Fisher's Room. I was like, ooh. I remember there was a whole bunch of songs with that. But that's not the rhythm I'm going to talk about. I don't talk about that rhythm, the Mama rhythm. Oh, my commanding wife, she wants to destroy my life. Oh, my commanding wife, she wants to destroy my life. Oh, 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 I've met a lot of girls, but no one makes me feel like you. And all my words come true, and I be all bona fide. I give you everything your heart desires. I'm shining on the right between the lines. I wanna love, 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 love you no more. I wanna squeeze, 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 squeeze you no more. I wanna love, 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 love you like no one, no, no, no. It must be an informer, it must be a backbiter, it must be a vampire, make me pressure under the pressure. Ray and Stacy holding hands and running together. They say making some plans to run off together. They say just friends, they say I'm burning my lady. They say just friends, and I'm secretly loving you. Oh no. Hey man, that's the Mama rhythm, man. Also known as the Just Friends rhythm. There's Just Friends there. You know what I'm saying? Mama man Suede. Right? Anyway, peace be with you. Thank you, Mr. Kirk Fisher, Mr. Matthew Fisher, my 2 fishermen, man. Peace be with everybody. We'll see you next month for an old friend. An old surprise, man. I don't like surprises. Tell me what it is.